Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the X-Ring. So in today's episode what we're going to do is take a look at the new, this is the Tikka, the T3 ACE Game model. So if you want to know more about this and see if it meets my expectations, definitely stick around for more. All right, so you guys know that I'm a huge fan of the Tikka products. Guys with a long-standing Finnish heritage, these guys know how to make rifles. I've never had one that did not shoot well, and back in the day you did have to deal with non-standardized US type threading where you were dealing with 18x1 and things like that, but they've really gotten on board, especially since their relationship with Beretta, and now you're starting to see US models, whether it's a BRX1 you know, for the Beretta rifle, or even the Tikkas, you're seeing them in the standard 5/8 24. So they're giving us what we're asking here in the United States. Now during SHOT Show 2025, I did have a chance to go by and shoot these. I shot all three models. I shot the ACE, the T1X, which is their rimfire version, as well as the T3 ACE Game, which is what this is, and the T3 ACE Target. Now I figured everyone would want to get the Target because it's basically the same rifle with a heavier contour barrel. But with me wanting to do some hunting but still want a precision rifle and be able to do an NRL hunter type series, I figured this might fit the bill pretty well. And you know, in production division for NRL hunter, I've been told you got to keep it under 12 pounds. So 12 pounds was kind of the goal. And will this rifle do it the way that it's outfitted? Absolutely, it will do it. And I think it's got everything it needs to shoot one of those matches, with the exception of, let's say, an MDT triple pull bipod. The way that you see it actually comes in just over 11 pounds. This is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and do a full review of the ACE Game and the price. Guys, you can pre-order these on EuroOptic and some of the other authorized dealers right now for about $1,750 or so. So while it is still a little pricey, it is still going to have that Tikka name, the accuracy, and everything it's known for. So starting at the back, guys, this ships with a Torx, and that one Torx T-handle will do everything you need to do in this rifle. At the back, you have a generous buttstock here, and you might say, well, why do you need such a big pad here? Well, guys, they've really listened to what we want, and they offer everything all the way up to like your 7 PRCs, your 300 Win Mag, your 6.5 PRC, all the way down to 223 and 22-250. There's a lot of other options in between, like your 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, and things like that. So at the back here, generous butt pad. You have an adjustable length of pull. You can see 3 holes here on the back pad, on the butt pad, and basically use the center one to adjust up and down and cant on this. So that makes it nice. And then the top 2 allows you to take your spacers out. You do have a bag rider that it ships with. There's an additional one. This is held on by an M-lock, so pretty nice. You also have a QD on the back side, and you have an adjustable cheek riser. Guys, this is where that configurability is really nice. Having that adjustable cheek riser, and while this isn't the most lightweight platform, if you're looking for an ultralight, this is probably not it, because the base rifle comes in at a little over 8.5 pounds. But what's really nice is this cheek riser. I can press the button and it will actually allow you to push that all the way down, so when you need to take the bolt out, it is very effortless and easy to do, and it's out of the way. So for cleaning, zeroing, anything like that, it's nice. Press the button again, and it goes back to your preset position. Guys, this is a non-folder, and I do think they need to offer something that allows this to be a folder, and the only reason I suggest that is if you're traveling while you're hunting, if you can fold that chassis or that stock. This enables you to get it into a smaller Pelican or hard case, so you don't get that overage charge for flying with oversized luggage if you're not flying first class or something like that. This has the standard bolt that you're already used to on the T3X models, pretty much same as the Super Varmint, and you do have a thumb perch here on the left or on the right side. You can move it to whatever suits your needs. What I do like is you have this adjustable grip. You can adjust not only the angle, but also forwards and rearwards for that hand or finger length of pull. Coming on forwards, you're going to see that you've got the regular toggle safety here. It is an adjustable trigger. It's a single stage. If you guys want to see here, you're allowed to adjust it down to about 2 pounds, but then it limits you on how much lighter you can get than that. The way that I've got it set right now breaks at about 2 pounds, pretty nice. And this one does have the polymer single stack magazine. But this is where things get interesting. Guys, this polymer section right here is removable, and you can go with the 10 round like the CTR mags, or you can do an AICS conversion, and all you have to do is change out this middle section. Now, I haven't seen the AICS, but I've seen the CTR, and that makes it nice because if you're not hunting and you want to hold 10 rounds, you can do that with the other magazines. They've done a really good job with the barricade stop up here. You have a spot on the left and the right side for extra shots or extra shell holders. And then you have a full R-lock ARCA rail on the bottom of this. So they are staying with the times. You also have flush cup QD swivels on the left and right, as well as M-lock. Now, it doesn't have a top handguard, but that will be available as an accessory. And this one has the medium contour. It's a fluted barrel, and it is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. I figured if I was going to shoot an NRL hunter, I'd want that 6.5 Creedmoor. And guys, I do have some other stuff on here that's actually pretty cool. Guys, this is the MDT, the Mountain bipod. Guys, this thing is super, super lightweight. This one has the ARCA adjustment on it. These should be hitting your MDT authorized dealers within the next 2 weeks or so. But guys, this thing is ultra lightweight. Okay, it comes in at ounces. It is very, very configurable for not only the leg width, which you guys will see here. I mean, we can splay this thing out almost flat like that. Look at that, guys. And this is considered, you know, just one leg extension, but guys, we can really extend this out for a hunting application, getting into a really unique location. This will actually work very well, and has very, very lightweight ARCA adjustments here to be able to slide it up and down to suit your needs. This also has the new MDT. This is the new Gen 2 level on here. Yeah, there's a better way to mount it, but like I said, for purposes of this video, it should work just fine. Now, in all fairness, guys, I have shot this rifle and had broken it in, but I just mounted this scope on here. The scope that was on here was actually the Burris, the Eliminator 6, and while that worked, it was a little bit larger and heavier, and I think this is a better representation of what a good setup would be if you're going to do like an NRL hunter. You've got a 2.5 to 20 first focal, and we can dial. Now, I mentioned earlier, it does have the threaded barrel on here, 5H24. Guys, I did add a muzzle brake because it's a lot easier to spot your shots with the muzzle brake. If you're hunting with the muzzle brake, you definitely want to have some type of ears or maybe some electronic ears. Guys, they've gotten so cheap, why not do that? But this is by a company called Highland Canyon. Guys, this muzzle brake only weighs 2 ounces. And I do know that MDT is coming out with a full titanium version for a muzzle brake that's lightweight, but what's really unique about this is the owner has patented this, and you have these inserts on the inside. This does need to be cleaned. It's got some blue on here where I was doing some decoppering on the barrel before I brought it out for today, but basically he has this little insert in here, and it's a titanium insert, but I could leave that on, and if I wanted to switch to, let's say, 30 cal, I don't have to have a lot of different muzzle brakes. This is an aluminum self-timing shroud, and it is made for hunting for that lightweightness, but he also offers it in stainless steel as well, and that's Highland Canyon. You can check up their website, check them out, but I think it's a good option rather than not running a muzzle brake, or if you want to run a suppressor, you could. So we're going to shoot it with that on there. We're going to go ahead and get it zeroed on the paper. I did a rudimentary zero just a few minutes ago, clean, cold, decoppered barrel. We're going to go ahead and get started with the testing. Whatever the groups show is whatever they show. I'm hoping this will be a sub-MOA rifle, and that's what I've seen in my previous testing while breaking the rifle in, but we'll see what we get today. Let's go ahead and get to shooting. So before we get started with the zeroing on this, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the ammo that we're shooting. We've got the Sako, this is the Power Blade, 120 grain. You got Federal, this is the Gold Medal Match, 6.5 Creedmoor, 140. And then we've got Burger. This is the 6.5 Creedmoor 140 grain hybrid target, as well as our standby, the 6.5 Creedmoor 140 match. So we're going to start off with the Hornady. And guys, I do have a camera down range. I'm going to do this very quickly. I just want to shoot some groups just to see if this is a sub-MOA rifle like I'm expecting it to be, or at least close to it, to see if it would be good enough for the NRL hunter. And then another thing I've been using, guys, for velocity is this KDG. This is Kinetic Development Group. And before anybody says, oh, they just copied L3I. Guys, Kinetic Development Group, I've been using their stuff for about 8 years now. They do a lot of quick lock stuff for not only Picatinny, everything from scope mounts to red dots, but now they have this really cool system where this attaches to M-LOK very quickly. Just clicks right in, makes it super fast. If you don't have an ARCA, and let's say you have something with an M-LOK without an ARCA, just works really well. So what we're going to do is we are going to load up 3 rounds. Now I will tell you that on the target down range, it did have some impacts on the bottom left. That's not going to be part of this. We're going to start off with the top left. I'm using a Night Force. This is the 2.5 to 20 first focal. And we'll just do 3 shots very quickly. Here we go. Guys, go figure that my darn cell phone overheated while it was on the stand here. And so I missed the footage. But what we were talking about was this is the Hornady. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to the Federal. This is the Gold Medal 140 grain. And then top right, now we're going to go with the Federal Gold Medal. Here we go. Okay, so definitely sub-MOA. Burgers will go bottom right. Oh, that's going to be hot on my arm. Hold on just a second. Much as I love you guys, I don't want to get burnt. All right, that is sub-MOA. And last but not least will be the Sako Power Blade. This will be 12 rounds, so she's getting a little toasty, but with this lighter barrel, one of the things I wanted to see is how much it changed. Now remember, this is 4 different types of ammunition in, what, a minute and a half? Probably not the best thing on the barrel, but I want to test it. We're going to go center with the Power Blade. Remember, we're looking for groups, not for location. Here we go, center. All right, so that is still going to be sub-MOA. So guys, with these Tikka rifles, that's 4 different types of ammunition, 2 different grain weights, but with 3 shots, they're still holding sub-MOA on all of them. The one's a little close, but I promise you it's still sub-MOA. But this rifle fills a lot of rolls, and having this grip to where it's adjustable, super nice, super comfortable. And I know that a lot of guys might like a conventional style stock, okay? So for like the Tikka, the T3, the Super Varmint, something like this might suit most guys, but I will tell you guys, in this configuration, this is actually a little bit lighter than the Tikka T3. Even though it's got the heavier contour barrel, it does come in just slightly lighter, which was very surprising that it would do that. Now, I have taken this out of the action. I've looked at how all the stuff is attached. It was very, very well thought out, but one of my biggest complaints about the Ace game is I really thought it would be lighter. Coming in at 8.8 pounds, even though I was able to make weight with this rifle, under 12 pounds because that's what I was wanting to see. You know, a decent optic without having to skimp too much, throwing a level on here, pretty much having everything except the triple pull. And I understand that in NRL Hunter, a lot of guys are saying you need a triple pull. Well, does that mean you have to take a triple pull every time you go hunting? There's different ways to come up with shooting positions, and I think Tikka did an absolute great job with the game. I just wish they could have saved a little bit more weight within the actual chassis itself. They've done a good job skeletonizing this and making it lighter weight and having options, especially for the AICS. But I think some of these chassis systems, especially shooting it off a tripod, is going to lend itself to be better suited than something like this. Also, you know, while this works, it's not going to be as configurable as something like the Tikka. Having all of the adjustable butt pad where you can rotate it, go up and down with it. Yeah, it's got an adjustable cheek pad, but all of this stuff does everything so much better. So the way that this was marketed was actually as a long-range target shooter as well as a hunting rifle, and I believe it will fill those roles very well. So what we're going to do is, I was able to get a velocity just shooting like the Hornady. Guys, one of the biggest things is having a Kestrel. This is the ticket. I do not like to use cell phone apps just because a lot of times you're not going to have cell phone connectivity. They have overheating issues. Guys, these just work. All those folks have been super, super good to the channel. I've got one of the Wes units. We'll talk about that with the basically telling you what your hit probability is or your P hit on certain size targets, whether they're squares or circles, and you can look amongst different calibers and figure out, hey, which one might be the best tool for the job, whether it's a different grain weight bullet or whatever. You can look at those hit probabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull that target from downrange. We'll just walk this out and we'll see how we can do with this Tikka T3 Ace. All right, guys, so I'm not going to lie to you. Hunting in the South, I've never had to use binocular pouch, chest rig, or anything like that, because typically I was always carrying a tree stand on my back. We go into deep woods and you might have a shot that's maybe 80 to 100 yards, just the way we hunted here in the Southeast, unless you had the ability to hunt power lines or something. So I set up a spotting scope. We're going to pretend we were walking, we find a thing to shoot. This being under 12 pounds is not crazy heavy. I mean, it wouldn't be something I'd want to do for, you know, 50 miles, but 12 pounds is actually pretty light. Some of these ruck matches you're carrying around rifles that are 20 pounds and rucks that are, or packs that are like 40 or so. But first thing you'd want to do is, of course, determine how far this animal is. So I haven't shot at this. These are in different locations here. I've never shot at this target before. It is a round that they had here for an event. It's 376 yards, 376. So it's saying I'm about 1.7 mils or so. So I would go ahead and dial that in, I guess, but I do have the bipod available to me. Now with this mountain bipod, I won't be able to pan. So using it on top of the tree like this is great, but I won't be able to swing it. I'll have to dig the feet in at the location that I want, and having something that has an ARCA attachment really makes it nice because I can loosen this and I can actually slide this ARCA closer to me. So what this will allow me to do is brace on my knee or whatever else I can do, but having that versatility over a standard chassis does make it nice. Now, we're at 1.7, what it's calling for. Boy, that's a sticky round. That doesn't, I hope that's safe. You know what? Check and make sure. That's a 6.5 Creed. I hope that one flies right. All right, so we're gonna go 1.7, here we go. Now that's an impact. So this mountain light is nice, the Tikka feels good, I think the accuracy is there. Really only had one round with me. Let's see if we can use the same position. Let me grab some ammo and let's see if we can hit some more targets. We'll try like, there's a 500 and a 550, and we'll try it from various positions here. I think it'll be a good realistic representation of the actual rifle. So let me go ahead and grab just a couple rounds and we'll see if we can do this. All right, so I'm trying to be realistic. I'm gonna go for smaller targets here. I grabbed some Federal Gold Medal from the zeroing test, which was a little bit low and left. So I might have to make an adjustment on that, we'll see. But from here, the target to the left of the orange range flag is 484. So 484 is calling for 2.6. We're going to go 2.7 because we know it was low and it was left, so we're going to hold just a little bit right. Let's see what we can do with this. See if we can make an impact on this at 484. It's a third IPSC, so a little bit larger. All right, here we go. And that's an impact. All right, guys, so it is a lot of fun. It's a little more challenging to shoot a lighter rifle. Just had this up on the tripod just to see how it would work. I'll try to shoot the 700, doubtful. I don't really have good dope on this with the Federal ammunition. This is the Federal Gold Medal Match 140, which I don't normally shoot. I want to estimate we're probably about, I don't know, 5.8. Who knows? Here we go. Impact. Like I said, guys, this thing's a shooter. 4 different types of ammo, all sub-MOA. I haven't seen that in a while. I do like the Tikka. I think it's a great option. I'll tell you some things that I don't like about it. Let's go ahead and do that now. So one of the things I don't like about it is, number one, the weight. I believe the weight is, it kind of missed the mark. For a game, it does well, and I do understand that it is for longer range shooting applications. It still has the Tikka name, the action, and all that, but I think they missed the weight by about 1 pound. I don't know where they could have shaved the weight, but I think that was what was needed in a game option, okay? I do like the target. I think the target's good, but it's almost like they could have made that a little bit heavier. You can save a little bit of weight by taking off this little bag rider, but it's actually nice. You know, I'd have liked to have seen a folder, but otherwise, it's actually a nice rifle. I just think it just missed that mark just a little bit. The price point's pretty good at that $1,700 price point. It is smooth, and you do have the option of running the AICS mags. Guys, I do like this adjustable grip. I know they couldn't really do it by having this huge void or this pocket in here at the top when you slide it to the rear. Guys, this fits my hands just like so perfectly, but I have this big void, which I'm sure that could get clogged up with mud and whatnot. Wish there was another way to do that. The trigger feels nice for a hunting trigger. Like I said, you can adjust it down to that 2 pounds. Here we go. Nice and crisp. Action is what you would expect from Tikka. So, guys, I'm getting ready to head down to Texas to be shooting some of these. I'll be shooting the target and the game as well. And we'll be trying out some new optics that I think you're going to be excited to see from Burris. So that's going to be coming up in the next week or two. And I also have one of the Axis Works enablers I'm going to try on this in replacement of the Highland Canyon. I think the Highland Canyon is a great option, especially for hunting. And that muzzle brake does actually help with the recoil and seeing, but still it does jump quite a bit. The Mountain bipod, phenomenal. This thing is great. I can't wait till MDT actually comes out with this. Like I said, it should be a week or two. You've got the Mountain, you've got the backcountry. Great little tripods or bipods that are super lightweight. And this one actually, we're going to go ahead and take that off like that. Guys, this thing is so light. It's just phenomenal. Great versatility, great adjustment, and I do like it. You know, MDT's really starting to become innovative. I think they bought a company out of New Zealand to acquire these. But yeah, these are awesome. I think they're catering to that market that's wanting it, which is the NRL Hunter Series and the Hunter themselves. I also like the way that they finished this out with the barricade stop right here that's textured. Also one on the end so that it doesn't look unfinished. But guys, I think you'll be happy if you end up buying one of these Tikkas. Actually, let me find 1 or 2 more rounds. I've got a 100 yard zero. We'll go ahead and see if we can just pop one at 100, one at 200, just kind of offhand here, and see if we can make the shot. I think it'll really showcase the rifle. All right, so for you guys in the southeast, most of our shots are like 100 yards and in. You might pull out a 150 every once in a while. I'm going to load 3 rounds in here. I do have the spotting scope on 100, even though it looks like it's close. That's a 20 power. But most of our shots in the southeast are going to be lower power. I've got a 100 yard zero. I see a deer, I'm going to be just like that. That's the way it's going to end in the southeast. If we wanted to shoot something at 200, you could run a 200 yard zero, but you know what? Let me go ahead and put the safety on. I want you guys to see this. I'm just gonna rest this on the side and I'll move it out to this, you know what? We'll just say 300, how about? We'll just go 300. 300's not that far. We'll just go 300, which is right there. I think focused in. All right, so 300 yards. And here we go. And that's a hit. So I think for most of your shit, I got one more bullet. Let's I don't know. Let's go for 500. I don't need that bipod and all that crap. Hold on just a second. And guys, there is no wind, in all fairness. It's actually calm out here. Let's go 500. Yeah, that'll work. All right, 500. All right, just gonna do like 3 mils. I'll probably miss, I don't care, it's okay. Yeah, probably miss. Especially unsupported or anything else. Guys, you gotta know your limits, but I do like the Tikka. I think it's a very refined weapon, very svelte looking. If you don't mind not having the wood or a conventional chassis, I think it'll do everything you want to, and I've got this adjusted pretty properly for me to where it feels comfortable. Guys, as far as the MDT, the LRA2, I could have run that on here. It's nice because, you know, on the Night Force, this isn't going to move like it does on most of the other optics. This just kind of stays in place on the 2.5 to 20, and you can just run the 3 dots here. But I didn't do that because of this cap cover. But I do appreciate everybody that watches the channel. Hopefully you like this review of the Tikka T3 game. We'll see you on the next one.